If I had to use one word to sum this video up, it would be rats. There's a bunch of rats out there, so be careful. The whole idea for this video came up when I was approached to promote stocks for cash. I'll take you behind the scenes to show you how this all played out, how much they were going to pay me, why this is so problematic, and share some additional info that isn't going to make me any friends among content creators in the investing space. Luckily, that's okay though, because I am not here for them. I'm here to help you become a better investor. I've also had the same 15 friends since I was a little kid, so I'm not taking new friendship applications at this time anyhow. Ultimately, this is going to help viewers like you think twice before trusting anything you read in articles or watch here on YouTube. My motto has always been no names please, and that is not changing for this video. So if you're looking for that info, then you won't get it from my mouth. Now, I should say that if the SEC wants to reach out to me, then I'll be more than happy to squeal like a little pig and give them as much info as they need. As most content creators do, I receive emails to promote all kinds of things. Mostly a bunch of garbage like cryptocurrencies and NFTs, which, side note, is how you know that there's a lot of scammy dealings going on in that area. But every now and again, I'll get asked to promote individual stocks on my YouTube channel. In the past, I've ignored these stock promotion emails, but one day I decided, hey, let's play along with this. For those of you who are new to my YouTube channel, I am not a stock picking channel. I've never, literally never made a video talking about an individual stock in my life. And I don't plan to. And that's because I am a big proponent of index fund investing. So for a company to reach out to me like this tells me that they don't even do the minimal amount of research before contacting a creator. I was actually a little nervous before going through with playing along, because if it got out that I was acting interested in getting paid to pump stocks, then my reputation would naturally take a hit. Because of that, I needed to give someone a heads up about what I was doing, so at least I had an alibi in case one of these companies tries to out me. I sent a quick text to my buddy Seth from the Everything Money YouTube channel, then we hopped on a call to discuss the details. I should probably give a quick lesson on how a stock pump and dump works before giving you these juicy details from those emails that I received. Shares of a stock are purchased by or already owned by an individual when the stock price is low. Now, this person ultimately wants to get out of their position at a higher price, so they're willing to dish out some cash to help inflate the stock price. Creators with an audience are paid to promote that stock through news articles, blog posts, newsletters, Discord channels, YouTube videos, and other social media platforms as well. In my case, the paid promotion offer came from a third party who was hired by either the publicly traded company or an individual who purchased shares at a very low price. It's a way for the shareholder to distance themselves from getting blamed for a pump and dump scheme. Once that positive news is released on various platforms, consumers of that content buy the stock because they trust the person talking about that stock. The price per share spikes, and the initial investors dump their shares at an inflated price for a profit, which tanks the stock price back down. And who gets screwed? People like you who follow these creators into the stock. Although I think this person and his employer are absolute scumbags, I'm going to keep my contact's personal information private, so we'll call him, Peter the Pump and Dumper. If you are enjoying the juicy details of this pump and dump scheme as much as my dog Molly, then please make sure to hit that thumbs up button to help support her as well as myself and this channel. The initial email that Peter sent me had two major red flags. The first is where he wrote, "We aim to have a positive influence on these stocks' investor relations." Let's think about this logically for a second. If a company is doing well, then their financials will show it and investors will eventually find out. For the sheer fact that they need to pay creators to talk about the stock tells you that there's a reason the stock price isn't higher than it currently is. On top of that, if the future is so bright for this company, then they don't need to pay for promotion because news outlets will already be covering them. The second someone is being paid to promote a stock like it's a new line of Apple products is the second you should know that there's something really fishy going on. And some creators will use the lame excuse of, oh, my audience is so smart that they know not to buy this stock that I'm speaking very highly of and basically trying to pump. They use this weird mental gymnastics to make themselves feel better for pumping a crappy stock. Yeah, okay, dude, go kick rocks. Although the creators being paid to promote these stocks have to legally tell you that they're being compensated, I have examples of times creators did not disclose that they were being paid, which I'll talk about in a minute. The second red flag in Peter's initial email was an even bigger red flag to me. He said, "We work with small cap and micro cap companies." Now later in the email, he specifically mentioned micro cap companies again, which tells me that's what he wants me to promote. For those of you who might not know, mid cap stocks can be manipulated, but it takes a little more money. Small cap stocks can be manipulated, but it takes a lot less money. And micro cap stocks are probably the easiest to be manipulated because you don't need much money to move the price at all. Micro and nano cap stocks are some of the best candidates for pump and dump schemes because you might only need a few $100,000 or in the low millions of dollars to move that price. That might sound like a lot, but it's really not when you're pulling together a bunch of clueless investors. I'm aware of a YouTube creator who was paid tens of thousands of dollars to talk about a nano cap stock. Now, I know for a fact that this person, didn't disclose their paid partnership. As a reference point, here's an example of a nano cap stock. Now, if you look at the market cap, you can see that it's around $30 million, which makes it very small and very easy to manipulate. For the record, I'm not naming the creator, nor am I saying that this specific stock is the one that they were paid to pump. I'd never share that information. I'm just showing you an example of a very small stock so you can use your imagination. Myself and Peter had agreed on 3 different videos where I talk about 3 different stocks that they choose. At this point, he asked about how much I charge them for each video. Now, I didn't want to go too high and scare him off, but I also didn't want to go too low, so I needed to pick that perfect price to get him to bite. While I was trying to figure out this number, I decided to avoid the question for the time being to give myself just a little bit longer to think. I also wanted to see how shady they were willing to be. So this is when I asked him the question of, hey, if I see anything that concerns me about one of the stocks, then how would you want me to handle that when I'm talking about it in the video? His response was exactly what you'd expect. As these are our partners, I certainly want to promote their stock in a positive light, but I also don't want to ask you to say anything disingenuous. Okay, Peter, okay. He then let me know that if this was the case, then they'd find another stock for me to promote. His idiotic reasoning was because, well, at the end of the day, I don't want to mislead or misinform your viewers, so I think it makes the most sense to not promote stocks if you don't think it's a good investment. Hey Peter, being honest about a stock being a piece of garbage is the opposite of misleading or misforming viewers. What an idiot. I'm being a little facetious here because obviously they're not going to pay me to give my honest opinion and trash a stock. But this is what happens when creators are incentivized by sponsors in general. Now, I am not saying that everyone who takes on a sponsorship is a bad person or they're misleading viewers, but we have to acknowledge the natural predicament, especially when individual stocks are being talked about. Finally, he wanted me to throw out a price. Now, after thinking about it long and hard, I decided to hit him with this. I first told him that I usually charge $8,000 for stock analysis videos, but because this is our first time working together, I dropped that down to $6,000 per video to start building a long-term relationship. That's when Peter the Pump and Dumper came back with $6,000 is unfortunately a bit out of our budget. I was hoping to get something closer to $4,000. Do you have any room for further negotiation? This is when I decided to test him a little bit by mentioning that, hey, I wasn't willing to negotiate the price and told him, you know what, have a nice weekend. A couple of days later, he came back with approval for the $6,000 per video. What? Where'd you find that money, dude? Under the couch? I really wanted to get the names of these stocks that they wanted me to pump because I was excited to expose these trash companies on this video, so I asked him for the list. Peter said that he would get them for me later in the week. So 1, 2, and 3 days had gone by with no response from my good friend. Then we've got 4, 5, then 6 days had passed with no email from my buddy Peter the Pump and Dumper. It started to feel like the last time I got ghosted by a girl, so I pulled a desperate move by reaching out to him about the list of stocks. My heart instantly broke when he told me that they couldn't do the deal due to budget constraints. Who would have thought that additional $2,000 per video had broken the bank? And just like that, this beautiful, transformational, money-making relationship that myself and Peter were building came crashing down. I'd be lying if I said that I didn't stay up some nights thinking about the magic that we could have created together. The thought of shilling a stock for the sole purpose of screwing over the uneducated investor to enrich myself, Peter the Pump and Dumper, as well as his client, started to get me all hot and bothered. It was absolutely devastating and heartbreaking to hear this bad news. Peter has probably moved on to another content creator who is better at shilling individual stocks than me for a lower price. I am not mad at Peter. I am not angry at Peter. Just a little disappointed, that's all. The moral of the story is simple and obvious, but it should be repeated. Do not, I repeat, do not blindly trust me or anyone else creating content because we're all just as fallible as you. When a lot of money is involved, some people lose sight of their moral compass. If it were me, I probably wouldn't trust anything anyone was saying about the smaller small cap, micro cap, and nano cap stocks because that is where all of the rats hang out. It's okay to trust creators because we're not all bad people or out there trying to screw you over. I'd honestly say that there's way more honest creators than there are dishonest creators. But you, as a viewer, need to accept some responsibility with this whole thing and look out for yourself by doing additional research. Always remember that if it sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. I am all for second chances because people naturally make mistakes. So if someone is caught shilling a bunch of junk, then let's try not to immediately cancel them. Give that individual a chance to redeem themselves if they like. As always, keep buying your low-cost index funds, ignore the noise, and stay the course. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button and check out the description for ways to help support this channel. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Done.